Welcome to the Road to Redemption podcast with your host, Cam Williamson. Each week, Cam sets out to shatter the labels and stigmas associated with mental health awareness by giving life lessons and raw overviews of events happening around the world.
All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. We are back with you. Hey, go ahead, hit the thumbs up button right out the gate. It'll turn fun colors. You'll enjoy that. If you're annoyed by colors or you like them, the red subscribe button, hit that. It'll turn gray. Now you're subscribed. You'll see the boy everywhere you are on YouTube. If you really want to see me as soon as I drop everything, hit the bell, and you'll see stuff like this as soon as I drop it. Day 18. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, defamation trial. Started off strong. All right, we got some recapping to do because redirect happened yesterday where Elaine was in charge of the redirect for Amber Heard. It did not go well. Did not go well for Amber or Elaine. The big reason, the underlining reason, I'll try to keep it short, is because Elaine was not able to control her own witness, her own client. Elaine was getting herself in trouble, trying to give her, trying to give her client a chance. So Elaine is asking inappropriate questions. She's literally coaching her client on how to answer the question by how she's asking it. Amber, did the injuries you sustained, well, wait, we don't know if these injuries were actually happened. And she's just feeding her these answers and ways to answer the question because she knows that Amber Heard is not looking good up there and she's not able to be believable. And Elaine is literally stuck in this position where to even just keep moving forward, she has to make herself look terrible. So I'm starting to kind of believe that rumor that Amber and Elaine had this back and forth yesterday about if you don't want to listen to the way that we're telling you to do this, which they're not even supposed to be doing that, right? You're not supposed to talk to your attorneys about your testimony. And it's like, if you're not going to listen to me, I can't help you because everything you're doing up here, we're allowed to watch the coverage and we're seeing the way everyone's taking what you're doing. We're telling you to adjust fire. You have to adjust fire. You cannot keep doing this because it's not fucking working. So they're trying to, I think, get Amber Heard to stop with the dramatics, stick to what your story was, right? They just couldn't get it done. And I don't think Amber liked the way that Elaine was not, wanting to be so dramatic and whatnot. And we'll get into the drama of everything here. And that's when people said that Amber Heard stormed off the stand. I don't think Amber Heard stormed off the stand when her time was done. I think they were breaking for lunch since she was up on the stand and they were about to break the entire courtroom anyway. They assumed the media frenzy of her just coming off cross-ex, all that kind of stuff. Not to mention she was leaving anyway. So she just got up while the lawyer was still talking and walked out. But the bailiff was there and escorted her. Had she stormed off, there would have been no bailiff, so she wouldn't have walked. And someone would have told her, like, hey, where are you going? You can't leave a courtroom as a key witness not escorted, especially a public one like this. You're going to get slaughtered out there, especially when you're Amber Heard. So again, I think some people are making much ado about nothing. I don't think that was personal against her legal team, but I think this morning might have been. Or yesterday, post-lunch when they all sat down and no one pulled her chair out, no one said good morning, nothing. They acted like Amber wasn't even there. So there was that on day 17 and a half. A lot of people asked me what I thought about the writing on the mirrors, the handwriting. It's clearly two different handwritings. We can see the thing that stood out to me the most was the letter A. When you're looking into typography and stuff like that, the letter A, the letter C, the letter B, and the letter E, the letter Y, and the letter T are all very easy letters to figure out, is that identifiable to someone. Their S's are very common. Those are letters that you can tell. On the mirror, the A is the dead giveaway. There's one where someone, I believe it was Amber, and the lipstick, like Johnny said, her A is very clean, and the line in the middle does not extend out. where Johnny is more of a creative. He's more of a cursive, old school style of writing. So his A is lazy, and the middle A line is more of a gothic type script. It's dirty and it's rough, and it goes outside of the parameters of the canopy of the A. So there's clearly two there. I think that's just another Amber Heard lie that people, when I hear that, "You're so vain," I think of the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, I think it was, with early Matthew McConaughey, when they're singing "You're So Vain" up in the, at the end. They're singing that song. So I thought that was kind of funny. All right, let's get going. Sorry if I'm messing with my lip and my nose a lot in these videos, guys. The pollen here in Tennessee is insane. I never knew kind of what allergies were. The only form of allergies I get is I get like this crazy itching feeling up on my mustache down by my nose, and it drives me nuts. So I'm sorry about that. We'll get into today and half of yesterday. It's been an absolute snooze fest as far as entertainment and keeping you on the hook wise for this trial since Amber Heard exited the stand, because we've talked to her two best friends, and they suck. They're the worst. Birds of a feather fucking flock together, right? Because we talked to Ayatollah or whatever the fuck his name is, and he immediately annoyed the world right off the gate. He identified as like 7 different pronouns and hyphens and all this stuff that it was just hard to even get a grip as to what you think you are and how you're representing yourself in this situation. And then we're going to talk about his narcissistic type shit, since we like that term and it's being examined so thoroughly in this case. What's the number one sign of narcissism? Grandiose idea of yourself. This Io character seems to believe that he's God's gift to everybody. He said that him and Johnny Depp connected in a way that nobody else was able to connect to Johnny Depp, and he was the only one that was ever able to calm Johnny Depp down. And when people see him, he becomes immediately family in every situation he's in. Let's talk about this. My sister used to hang out with a lot of theatrical people, right? Literally, they were all in theater and stuff like that. They really, really loved Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they like to go to these showings of this play, movie, whatever, where it's interactive and they throw shit at the screen and they do all this stuff. So I've had some theatrical type folks in my home that reminded me a lot of Io, right? They think that because of their bubbly personality and because they're just this thing that they are, eccentric and creative and whatever, that everyone loves them, and that they're never too much for a situation, and that they're never just boiling over energy-wise, and that they're never coming on too strong, right? That couldn't be, because how could anyone be tired of all this creativity, all of this magic? That's how they kind of see themselves, and it's wild. And you see, like, when they speak and when they enter the room, they enter a room. They can't just walk in a room. They enter a room, and it's a whole display. Right? Now, Io didn't do a lot of this on the stand, but from some of the videos and stuff that we've seen of this person, and again, I've been around people like this that just think, well, no matter who it is, especially these troubled souls, they just really connect to me, and I have a way that I can talk to them like I'm the fucking attic whisperer or something. This guy was a fucking joke, or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he identified as. I lost count. Raquel Pennington. So I got confused when Raquel Pennington first took the stand because I thought it was Whitney Heard. They look so much alike. They make literally the same faces when they lie. And let's just jump right into it. They literally make the same faces when they lie. So like when Raquel is lying, she goes, and she like scrunches up her nose and she kind of, that's the Amber Heard face when she just can't, and she's lying about something. So like all these things are, you're seeing when two best friends bind in their toxicity and they're what's that? Partners in crime all the time, and they're used to covering up each other's bullshits and feeding off each other. Your mannerisms start to look the same, and you take things from one another. You mirror each other because you have to. to gain consistency in your story. The only time we saw this Raquel Pennington, not the MMA fighter, cry, she started to cry when she talked about the incident where Amber had the marks on her face and hair had been ripped out of her head. I noticed Raquel Pennington only started to cry in times when it could be that she was covering something up, or that she had covered something up or helped Amber cover something up, and she could be in trouble for it. They asked her quite a few questions about the hair pulling. I don't know if you guys have ever been around someone who's pulled hair, right? We're not even going to talk about sexually. We're just going to talk about, and you ever been around a kid and they got a hold of your hair and they fucking yank? It hurts like hell. They ain't getting a whole thing of hair out, right? If I walked up and grabbed somebody by their hair and started yanking, it's not going to pull a whole clump of their hair out. I could pull them, especially if I grabbed them from like the root pull. I could, and it's going to be a ha kind of thing. It's not like I can come up behind you and go, gah, like a patch of grass. And then it's like, here's your hair. It doesn't work that way. And then if it does, if you were to pluck out a couple hairs or something like this, it's not going to bleed. It's not like a dog that got hit by a car or something, and now there's this big patch of skin exposed and all raw, and it's like hair doesn't really work like that. You would have had to have like gashed it off. You would have had to like damn near scalped her to do something like that. And she's getting all emotional. She's getting all sad trying to relive this because they've been coached so well as to when to get emotional for Impact. Fucking shut up. Fucking shut your mouth. Raquel Pennington. No damage to anything. There was no damage in any of these like pictures that she shows where they're like, well, how was Johnny Depp mean to you? Other than the fact that he gave you an apartment to fucking, what's the word? Essentially squat in and create your bullshit jewelry. Wonder why someone who creates bullshit bead jewelry would want to hang out around Johnny Depp. The fucking king of bracelets and rings and shit. Interesting. And then when he gets mad at you, supposedly according to you, he throws all these bracelets and jewelries that you make. Even though the pictures you took, the stand is just placed on the couch and there's some beads everywhere. Every single picture that they've taken, right? If this is a normal book that's just sitting on a thing, right? Every picture they've took that's disheveled, they would have taken this book, turned it sideways, and opened it and gone, look, Johnny came in here and threw that. There's the picture. The book's open. Why would it be open? If it was just sitting there, it'd be closed. And they're going, disheveled. Disheveled. The book was over here, but when I took the picture, it was over here, disheveled. Things aren't disheveled because they're sitting in an odd place. I can take a book. It's not disheveled. I don't want it here. I don't want it here, so I put it down there. It's not a big fucking deal unless I make it one. Right? And then they keep showing pictures of all of these actual pictures that have supposedly Johnny cleared off the walls and stuff like that. Notice none of these pictures are broken? They're not even off kilter. I have a picture hanging out here in the front of my house of my daughter, who I love very much, and it's off kilter because I live next to her, Corey, and I have a bus that drives past my house multiple times a day, and it's fallen off the wall, but even without falling off the wall, it shifts. So pictures shift very easily if they're not like taped and reinforced, and if they are, there's a glass thing, and if they fall off the wall, they fucking break almost every single time. None of these pictures are broken. So again, if I take, here's a good example. If I take this and I claim that it was hanging up here, now it wasn't, you guys just saw me pick it up off that table, but if I claim it was hanging here, no pictures ever taken of it hanging here, and now it's sitting here, and you guys walk in, and I say, oh, I took a picture of that because somebody just walked in this room, ripped it off the wall, and then broke it, and they threw it there. But the picture of it that I show you is perfectly intact, just sitting here. But see how even this picture is off balance? It's off center? Because I've moved it. It's in there free moving around. But just by setting it here, it's not breaking. So by moving it and manipulating it, I've knocked it off center, but I didn't break it. That's the same thing they did. Only their shit's not even off center. So I've disheveled this picture more than any picture they show was disheveled. They kept using that word. That's why I keep using it. Disheveled. I thought it was interesting. After Io came up, we still got a little bit more that we will talk about Raquel Pennington, as obviously I'm stalling to get back to my notes. Found it. They make the exact same faces. We talked about that. So it looks like we're done with Raquel Pennington. Her shit was sleepy and boring and hard to get through. I'm glad it was over. Then they went to her fiance at the time. It sounded like they ended up getting married since divorced. Josh Drew. So Josh Drew, he came to leave. He does not want to be there, but not in the same way that Raquel didn't want to be there, where she was being short and irritable with both sides, really. James Drew is answering exactly what he knows. I saw this, I heard this, I saw that, I heard that. That's it. He's not giving more, he's not giving less. He's just, this is what I saw, this is what happened. But he's also lying, because he says that this place was a mess and the cops didn't see it, and then that he showed the cops all this damage and they didn't report on it, or that the cops even themselves said they saw enough that they could file a report, but it was because Amber didn't want to that they didn't. And the cops both testified that that wasn't true. There was nothing wrong. They saw nothing. That's why nothing was filed. And also Amber didn't want to cooperate. So he's trying to also weaponize the police in this scenario, saying that they saw the damage and they chose not to do anything because of Amber's response. And they already said that wouldn't have flown. We have a responsibility to report when there's a reason to. So like I said, he came to leave. He never saw Johnny assault Amber ever. Neither did Raquel Pennington. They are both just taking Amber's word for the injuries. Guys, that picture of her lip supposedly being busted, let's just ignore the fact that she's I'm going to not use the word famous actress, but she's an actress in Hollywood who would know how to, at least the beginning stages of paint on. So you can miss me with all that shit. I don't believe that for 1 second. Claims he showed the police around. He's direct. Yeah. He's very direct because also he's escaped, as you can see. He's not friends with Amber Heard anymore, and he's escaped Raquel Pennington, and he lived with both of them. What's that mean? He's very used to this. He's very used to their behavior. He saw it happen to other people, and he probably is a relatively smart guy. He seems like he's kind of relatively normal with his own issues. He at least seems to be not so dumb that he's willing to elaborate and lie like some of these other ones are, to the extent that they are. I think that's because he saw what was up. He recognized it. He protected himself. So this same thing did not happen to him. And he has since removed himself from the situation. And now he's being very careful as to not draw any of their wrath back onto him for any reason like that. Now, his part was recorded back in like 2019, so he's not saying anything new. This was years ago. He's probably long since moved on past this. He did say that he was a victim of domestic violence as well, though. I found that interesting. I found that very interesting because he didn't specify what relationship, but he did say he was a victim of domestic violence. So there's that. They have finished up his testimony for the day. I don't know who else we're expecting. We're supposed to see Whitney Heard at some point in this trial. But guys, I mean, we just got the two ex-best friends of Amber Heard, and they were both willing to say damn near nothing to help her. They were willing to say, yes, that's what Amber told us happened. I saw nothing. I don't know of anything. I mean, hell, this last guy couldn't even really say that he ever saw Johnny Depp angry. Raquel Pennington couldn't say that. They kept asking. So, the thing with Raquel Pennington, the biggest buster of Raquel Pennington's whole story was the story where apparently Johnny Depp and Raquel and Josh Drew and some other lady, Mary Sue, I think was her name, were all doing MDMA or shrooms around a fire, and this Mary Sue gets all huggy up on Amber, and according to Amber, Johnny gets up after being normal, gets up and goes, "Get your hands off my woman," and like grabs this woman's wrists super hard to the point where it makes her super uncomfortable. Everyone breaks it up. Well, Raquel goes, "No, that didn't." She didn't even mention that. She goes, yeah, Johnny stood up and said, why get your hands off my girl? And that was the end of it. Amber and Johnny went inside. So even Raquel is not willing to say Johnny put his fucking hands on somebody. You see how many people have distanced themselves from Amber Heard, and you see how many people are still willing to attach their name to Johnny Depp's story. Professionally, with licenses on the line. It's sick. It's sick what's happening. I think we're running to the end of this thing now. I think all the evidence that we're gonna see has been seen. We're just gonna keep seeing the same pictures and hearing the same stories of I don't knows, I wasn't theirs, yes, you're correct, I wasn't there. That's gonna be pretty much the big story that's gonna come of all this is what Whitney Heard says, and is she willing to lie for her sister? We'll see. With that, guys, I love you so much. This has been day 18. They're coming back from lunch, and we'll see who we're gonna get then. But for today, it's gonna be it. I love you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.